Let's talk about gender-affirming care. Because remember, just because Supreme Court justices and Alberta premiers refuse to understand existing studies, lived experiences, and science doesn't mean you have to do the same. First, some context. Right now, trans people are fighting for their civil and human rights. See, on Wednesday, the Supreme Court of the United States heard arguments challenging a Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care for minors, which the U.S. Solicitor General warned would open the door to a nationwide ban. And it really sounded like the court's conservative majority went into the hearing with their minds already made up, while people like grifter dork Matt Walsh were outside saying horrifying things like this.
We are not going to rest until every child is protected, until trans ideology is entirely erased from the earth. That's what we're fighting for, and we will not stop until we achieve it.
Meanwhile, on Tuesday, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's legislation that forcibly outs trans kids to their parents if they want to have their preferred pronouns and names used at school, that bans the use of puberty blockers until most teens are basically already done puberty, and requires parents to opt in to sex ed, passed the final stage of debate and is set to become law. I reached out to EGAL Canada, a nonprofit that advocates for 2S LGBTQ rights, who reiterated their confirmation that they intend to take legal action against this discriminatory legislation alongside the Skipping Stone Foundation. Because at the end of the day, none of the policies that I just described reflect what trans folks and their doctors have been telling us. So here are the facts. When anti-trans bills become law, depriving trans folks of access to care in spaces where they are accepted, attempts to leave us skyrocket to up to 72%. Meanwhile, for all of that concern about detransitioning and regret, the Associated Press reviewed 27 studies and found the average regret rate for transitioning was 1%. And for some, that regret was temporary. For context, the regret rate for nose jobs is between 7 and 15%. And you can get those as a minor in Alberta. Finally, puberty blockers are incredibly safe and have been used to treat a number of conditions, including precocious puberty, for decades. They're the only real pause button that trans youth have for permanent changes happening to their bodies, which generally finish puberty between ages 15 to 17. So when people say they want to ban puberty blockers for anyone under 16, they're actually saying they want to force trans kids to go through puberty as soon as possible. It is so clear to anyone who actually pays attention and listens to trans people that gender-affirming care is safe and has an astronomical success rate, and that the consequences of depriving people of this care are incredibly dark. So please, let's let kindness, empathy, and reality pull ahead of fear, hate, and discrimination. And to any trans folks who are hurting today, I am so sorry. I can't imagine how this feels. You deserve to be protected and listened to. And so many of us do stand with you. What do you think of all this?